The year is 1177 BC. Listen closely to the sun beating down on the Mediterranean coast. Just yesterday, the air was thick with the scent of cedar and spices, the bustling sounds of a world interconnected. But today, the air is thick with the smell of burning wood and stale salt water. On the horizon, a fleet of strange, jagged ships cuts through the mist. They did not come to trade. They came to witness the end of an age. This was the twilight of the late Bronze Age, a time we might now call a golden age of globalization. The world was not a collection of isolated kingdoms, but a vibrant, interconnected system. Imagine the great pharaohs of Egypt, not as distant gods, but as active players on a global stage, exchanging letters with the powerful Hittite kings in Anatolia. Think of the Mycenaean lords of Greece, their ships laden with olive oil and intricate pottery, sailing to the shores of the Levant. It was an era of unprecedented wealth, diplomacy, and cultural exchange. A delicate network of trade routes that pulsed like arteries across the known world, carrying tin, copper, gold, and ideas. This was a civilization of palaces and scribes, of grand empires that believed their world was eternal. In the smoldering ruins of the ancient city of Ugarit, a final, desperate message was found, not on paper, but on a series of clay tablets discovered in a kiln. They were placed there to be baked, to be made permanent, but the fires that destroyed the city finished the job instead. These are the last text messages of the Bronze Age. One tablet, a plea from the king, reads, "My father, behold, the enemy's ships came. My cities were burned, and they did evil things in my country." Another, even more chilling, was a reply to a king who had asked for help. "As for what you have written to me, ships of the enemy have been seen at sea, while you must remain firm." The message was never sent. The scribe never finished their work. The world ended before the clay could dry. Visually, the story is etched in stone and clay. At Medinet Habu in Egypt, massive temple walls depict the final desperate battles. We see the Egyptian navy clashing with a mysterious coalition of invaders, their heads adorned with horned helmets and feathered crowns, the figures history would come to call the Sea Peoples. On animated maps we can trace the path of destruction. We watch as the great centers of civilization go dark. One by one, Hattusa, the Hittite capital, falls silent. Mycenaean Pylos in Greece are consumed by fire. The trade routes that were the lifeblood of this world are severed, and the lights of the great palaces are extinguished, leaving a trail of ash across the Mediterranean. The desperate tablets of Ugarit, with their final, frantic words, become the era's tombstone. But the Sea Peoples were not a simple villain in this story. They did not destroy the world alone. Modern archaeology reveals a more complex and terrifying truth. These invaders were likely refugees themselves, the desperate survivors of a civilization already in its death throes. They were fleeing a perfect storm of catastrophe. Evidence points to a series of powerful earthquakes that toppled palaces and shattered cities across the region, a phenomenon some call an earthquake storm. This was followed by prolonged severe drought and widespread famine, which choked the fields and emptied the granaries. The intricate system of trade collapsed not from a single blow, but from a cascade of failures. The Sea Peoples were not the cause of the collapse. They were the final, brutal symptom of a world already falling apart. One by one, the great lights of antiquity are extinguished. The trade routes are severed. The writing stops. The world slides into a dark age that will last for centuries, leaving behind only the ash of palaces and the eternal, indifferent rhythm of the waves. It serves as a haunting reflection on our own interconnected world, a quiet reminder of how quickly the lights can go out, and how fragile the systems we depend upon truly are. And when the noise of our own civilization fades, what will be left is the silence and the endless sound of the sea.